Okay, so Jacqui, one of the things following Lynn's murder was that you have been advocating for Lynn's Law. Can you tell us a bit about what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the night that Lynn was murdered, a call was made by his sister Christine to emergency services, and that was at 7:30 in the evening, and they were told that Lynn's life had been threatened that morning, that he had a knife, that she was trapped in his home, that nobody could get hold of her. It was totally out of character for Lynn, and we were really worried and needed an immediate welfare check doing on Lynn. The emergency operator deemed it a priority 2. Now, a priority 2 with the police is a 12-minute response. But then what happens, Kate, is that gets sent to the local police station.
Right.
So the emergency operator sent that to Joondalup Police Station. They have a dispatch officer with all the jobs coming in. And it is up to him then to allocate the jobs based on the priorities. And he looked at the jobs in front of him and downgraded Lynn to a priority 3, which is an hour to respond. Police still didn't respond in an hour anyway. If they'd have just kept it as priority 2, 12-minute response, and they'd have dispatched somebody, I'd still have my little sister here now. And that, to me, is unforgivable. And so it wasn't just Christine's call to emergency services at 7:30. All of the neighbours were calling because they heard Lynn screaming. She was heard asking him to think of their boys. So it's obviously this woman is in danger. And so several neighbours called the police. You would think that would initiate, okay, we've got to get there sooner.
Yeah.
It didn't. So my sisters and I had the discussion when we were able to, what would make the most change? How can we help the most? And we thought, well, she should never have been downgraded to a priority 3, and that would have saved her life. And to us, that just then showed that, well, that's how they view domestic violence, so it's just another couple having an argument, you know? But this was different. A life was in danger. There was a weapon involved. So I wanted them to bring in what we have called Lynn's Law.
Yeah.
That never again in that situation where emergency services receive a call from a domestic violence incident where a weapon is involved and a life has been threatened, it should never ever be allowed to be downgraded lower than a priority 2, because that would save lives, and it is a simple solution. And they haven't been able to promise me that, which is alarming, really. When you think, now we're talking about one woman's life every 4 days. This year alone, you know, how many?
What was it, 26 women have died this year?
28.
28.
28.
Yeah.
So, because there's been another 2 in the last week, you know, so it's 28 people up until April. The end of April, that's one woman every 4 hours. Every 4 days, sorry. So, and they can't give me a promise that, you know, that won't be downgraded to a priority 3 again. So I'm really pushing for Lynn's Law.
Right. And is there anything that people listening to this could do in terms of supporting Lynn's Law?
Well, the government should listen. There's so much more funding gone into it.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
right.
there's more funding,
morning, wasn't it?
and then that means there's a lot more funding going to. There should be more police on the streets. They're talking about a dedicated domestic violence unit.
Right.
So can they not assure me then that this would not happen again if the funding is there, if there's a new unit there? Can they just bring in Lynn's Law, give us the promise that this won't happen again?
To anybody
you know,
else,
because it would have saved her life, and it would save other women's lives in that situation.
And such a practical
action.
It's not like you're asking for something that's not...
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing that with us. Certainly we are a huge supporter of Lynn's Law, so if there are things that, we're a big community, we've got 3,000 customers, we've got 1,100 colleagues.
Mhm.
So if there are things that you think we could do that helps support Lynn's Law, then please
Yeah.
let us know and tell us.
Thanks, Kate. Appreciate it.